often told there's a lot of info online about the legal process that I'm about to go through with the driving with no insurance charge, and it's very confusing. Dan, can you shed some light on what's going to happen inside the courtroom?
Sure. As you're aware, when you're charged with driving with no insurance, you get a summons that legally compels you to attend court on a specific date and time. And that court date is called a first appearance because it's the first time that you're appearing before the court on this matter. And this date, it's effectively the beginning of your legal process that you're going to go through as the government prosecutes the charges that have been laid against you by the police. The purpose of this first appearance is really to get all the evidence that the government has against you so you can effectively mount a legal defense. In other words, so you know how to fight back against the charges that have been laid against you.
Okay, when I go to court, just briefly explain what role everyone has in that courtroom. Who are the players and where do I fit in?
It can get confusing, John. Our legal system is set up like an MMA match or a boxing match. And there's really three roles in the courtroom that you need to be aware of. The first role is the prosecutor. The prosecutor works for the province of Ontario. Their job is to prosecute, in other words, litigate the charges that the police have laid against you. And I can't emphasize this one point enough. The prosecutor is not your friend. Okay, and I'm going to say it again. The prosecutor is not your friend. They may be nice, but don't get misled. Their job is to convict you, and that is their role in our legal system. That is the way it's designed. It's an antagonistic system. They're fighting you, and you should never forget that because the prosecutor has a lot of power, and the lawmakers have given the prosecutor a toolbox of penalties to deal with your charges. And these penalties include a minimum $5,000 fine that can escalate all the way up to $50,000, but there's more. I mean, a prosecutor in certain circumstances can seek a 3-month impoundment of your car and even a license suspension of up to a year. That's one side. On the other side is you. You're the second most important person in this match here. You're on the other side of the ring. You're the defendant, and you've been charged by the government of Ontario with violating a serious charge. And your role, your job is to fight back, fight the charges against you. And the third person you need to be aware about in the court is the justice of the peace. The justice of the peace is like a referee in a boxing match or an MMA fight. They're not on your side. They're not on the side of the prosecutor. Their role is to make sure that everyone is following the rules and that the final, that everyone is doing what they need to do. They're sticking to the law, and this is really important. The justice of the peace actually is the final decision maker on any outcome in your case. And in this fight against the government, it's really important to navigate this fight in really a strategic and smart way to really get the best outcome that you can, because there are just so many moving parts with cases like this.